of Funday Monday. It's part number 3. Yeah! It's going to be between Fiend and Napoleon. Are either of them in the chat? If so, hi. Hey, guys. Hello. Hi. Hey. Wow, that even hurt my ears to say, hey, hi. Today's Funday Monday topic is, of course, the counterattack only Funday Monday. You may either defend or counterattack, and I have incredible, deepened respect for Napoleon because he took it to the limit. Let's see how. Aw, yeah, Fiend. Fiend. Here he comes. In the top right, the enemy, Napoleon. Hello, space. Happy face from Napoleon, who is spawning in the bottom right. I don't know if Napoleon is from Wisconsin or something, but he certainly loves to spell Napoleon in a cool, clever, creative way. Napoleon is, of course, one of my favorite names ever. I had a coffee plant named Napoleon who promptly died because I didn't water it ever, which is, of course, not out of malice, but just out of being a generally irresponsible guy. I don't know if you have those sorts of responsibilities where you're in bed, you're really tired, but you can't quite fall asleep, and you just look over, and you're like, God, I gotta water that plant at some point. Oh, God, yeah, I really gotta do that. Right now, that current problem for me is the oil in my car needs to be changed. Every time I get in my car to go get lunch, I see it, and I'm like, yeah, at some point I gotta get that oil fixed, don't I? Wow, I really gotta write that essay at some point, right? Looks like Napoleon, Napoleon, or Julian. Screw it, Napoleon is going to go ahead and play somewhat standardo. He's going to go ahead and scout Fiend, who's doing anything but forge fast expanding. And of course, in the words of Naniwa, many believe that the PVZ matchup is none other than forge expand or die trying, or die crying, or cry dying. Yeah. All of those work. Looks like Napoleon is continuing on with an Extractor no Queen build. There's the Queen coming out. The Extractor trick shortly after the Overlord finishes, enabling him to have just had a little bit of lost money. 6 total. We see that Fiend is getting double gate core research. Now, if you're an early expanding Zerg against a 1-basing Protoss, you're envisioning scenarios such as a very fast Warp Gate, a very fast Immortal Push, some sort of 3-gate expand. Perhaps you're expecting some kind of, Void Ray, something from the skies. Look at this, already building extra Queens to account for all this. But of course, Fiend is a player of Protoss, and every person who plays Protoss knows how to 4-gate. Because every single Protoss has gotten to that point in time where they're going through all these crazy, fancy strategies in their heads. Like, I'm going to do a kind of weird, sort of like 1-gate pressure into 3-gate expand pressure again, transition to Void Rays and focus on my 3rd and Colossus. And then there comes a loss where you're just like, fuck this game, I'm 4-gating, right? Everyone does that. What is the Zerg equivalent of that? Well, it's the Baneling bust. Yeah, of course that's what you do. I keep losing. I'm just gonna build Banelings. And then what's the Terran equivalent of that? What would that be? I'm trying to think if there is one. There's actually like 50. There's actually so many of them that you don't actually call it being tilted. You just kind of call it going all in, right? Or not all in, you just call it standard strategy. Oh, the 1-1-1, the 1-1-1, that's great. The 1-1-1, thank you, lovely chat. 1-1-1, that is right, that is right. Marauder Micro, I'm going to do something else that's imbalanced. Oh. I don't actually think it's imbalanced, it's just Monday, you guys. And I have to throw in that caveat because I get the email of people being upset by things I said on Funday Monday. And I just want to throw out there, do you know what the most hate I've ever gotten from Hate My Allies is? Do you know? The number one thing Does anyone know? It is not statements about balance. It is not any sort of jokes about players, you know, being like, that guy's not so great. Excellent. It did come up in the chat. It's when I made a pot shot at dinosaurs. That's right. That's the most hate I ever got in all of my history playing StarCraft 2, because I said the following joke. We can't know all that much about dinosaurs, can we? And I got like 15 emails in 24 hours, and people were in the show emailing me being like, excuse me, my uncle just married a woman who is the premier anthropologist studying dinosaur culture at Oxford, Harvard, Stanford, and Hertford, right? People were so enraged. That's the #1 most upset. And for any of you who are in fact big believers in the support and equality of dinosaurs, I'm sorry. The Dinosaur Defender Force, thank you. Thank you, chat. That is right, the Dinosaur Defender Force Nation assaulted me. I think we were talking about a show at some point. How do we get on dinosaurs? I don't know. We're in the middle of a game, and my ADD just sort of happens lucidly in front of you. And I don't know if this has ever happened to you, where you're just sort of Googling around, just sort of drifting through the internet. But once upon a time, and by that I mean like 3 hours ago, I Googled my way into a 117-page research paper on glyphosate. Which is, of course, a very dangerous thing. And there was a scientist who had written all about the potential dangers of glyphosate. And as I'm a few pages into this, I'm realizing that I still haven't prepared for Funday Monday. But I do know and can assure you that after 11 steelhead and salmon ESU studies, no residential zones were found to have dangerous levels of glyphosate. This is sort of knowledge that just kind of works your way into the brain. And it was at this point that I just sort of became in awe of humanity, that there are people out there who sit down and write 117-page papers about pesticides and poll homes on their pesticide usage. And I want to know, what did you wind up in that voluntarily? Are you excited? Did you, like, hear about pesticides when you were little and become intrigued with them, and you've been infatuated with pesticides for years? Are you a pestophile? Like, how does that happen? Are you into, like, are you an Italian herb lover? Do you like farfalle pesto side pasta? My ADD is great. Looks like Theme is continuing along with a 4-gate. With a 4-gate. What a pestophile. Oh, and it looks like Napoleon is under the threat of a 4-gate, and with the burden of units at the front of his base, a ramp that is so unbelievably wide open, it looks like the entrance to a large palace. Great reference. Woo! Alright, looks like Napoleon is trying to build up as many Evo chambers as he can. No, it looks like a counterattack is en route. Fiend with Micro is not up to par with Napoleon. Napoleon! Streaming into the base. A little bit of a misclick by Fiend lets the Zergling stream into the completely undefended, wide-open main. And my god, people really love just building cannons back here. Counterattack? Success. Excellent. And as I'm doing this game, I'm realizing I didn't eat dinner before the daily, and that whole tangent about that pesticide fellow and glyphosate, whatever that is, I assume it's the saliva from griffins. It makes me think of nothing but farfalle pesto pasta, one of my absolute favorite dishes in the whole wide world. Theme transitioned from 4-gating to good gameplay, and is now going ahead and doing a little bit of expanding behind this. He's building a little bit of dat photon cannonage. And we're seeing Napoleon get the 1-1-ups, get the speed ups, get the layer up. And Napoleon continuing to spread the creep. Outward and onward and forthward and taking another hatchery. Now, if I were a counterattacking Zerd, I would expand here or some shit, right? But Napoleon does as he pleases. He feels he's behind, therefore Dark Shrine. when behind Dark Shrine. We see the Forge with the +1 weapon research. We see a Photon Cannon very aptly placed to deal with any sort of counterattack. The Lings, well established. The Mutalisks. Wait a minute, Napoleon's actually just basically doing what all Zergs do. And they go Spine Crawler, Ling, Muta, counterattack, 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 counterattack. Counterattack. Ooh, Burrow. Great. Good. There's only so many ways in which I can affirm what these players are doing before I just have to hit the plus button. And speed the show the hell up, Fiend. Moving out with 4 Dark Templar. Now, keep in mind, even if he has detection... actually, I should just say, if he has detection at all 4 of these are screwed. So, in fact, when you're warping in DTs, every additional DT that you morph in is an example of your hope. God, I hope he doesn't have detection. If it's 1 DT, I hope he doesn't have detection. If it's 2 DTs, God, I hope he doesn't have detection. If it's 3 DTs, holy shit, he better not have detection. If he has 4 DTs, please, I will believe in whatever deity I need to in order for it to grant me divine presence of lack of detection. Oh, thank all of the gods. That hatch has fallen down. Oh, yeah. Taking him out. And there's the detection. I'm detecting! I see everything. It's horrible. And it looks like we see the Zerglings on a route back managed to defend. They had to abandon their counterattack post. They're going to take their anger out on these rocks. Believe in all the gods! By the power of Zeus, strike down these detectors. Napoleon now getting his 2-2 ups, which will be... Oh my god, it looks like Napoleon wants to lose as quickly as possible. There's the Ultralisk cavern coming down. There it is. There it goes. Oh, yeah! When behind, counterattack. Shrine. Yeah, and there he is, streaming on in to the bases and faces of Fiend, pulling back, trying to defenestrate the Zerglings in a fashion, hopefully allowing him to stay alive and to save the window, because for as many windows as I've broken in my life, I can tell you they're a pain in the ass to replace. I don't know if you guys have ever broken a window before, but I want to tell you a broken window story. Once upon a time, I was playing a game of StarCraft. Funny how a lot of stories I tell begin with that. I was in the middle of a game, and it was so tense. I was playing back on the good old PG Tour service. It wasn't even IC Cup, it was PG Tour. Oh, it was so good. I was making one of my first ever runs to the A+ territory. This is during one of those summers where I had a job that was so awful, I used to just try to tell my mom I was going to work and then stay at home and play StarCraft because I wanted to be so good. So I was in the middle of one of those games. I had just learned a good hotkey setup to control my defilers, which was still hard because I was trying to play without LAN latency. That's right! Which is something that if you're a StarCraft player, you're like, oh, I'm appalled! If you're a StarCraft 2 player, you're like, what's LAN? So I was in the middle of this game, and as I'm there, I'm playing and I'm clicking furiously, I'm thinking smart things and playing so fast, my tendons are humming with vibrancy, and a wasp just goes bzzz and goes past the screen. So I'm like, and I fall back out of the chair, and I'm like, I'm so scared. I am terrified of bugs. I hate bugs. Bugs, okay? I hate bugs, alright? And there's this wasp, and he's like, bzzz, and this wasp must have been like this long, right? It was like an 8-inch wasp. It was really impressive. This wasp is just in my room, and he's huge, and he just like lands on the wall. You know what he did? He just did waspy things. He was just like zzz, 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 just making freaky noises. So what I did is I got like a sweater. Let me actually just, I got a sweater, and I wrapped it around my hand like this, and I try to go up. I'm trying to sneak up to the wasp, and my heart is pounding so fast. The game's going on, but I've forgotten about it. I may as well be Amish at that point. I'm not a StarCraft player. I'm a defender of justice. So I'm trying to sneak up to this wasp, like, zzz, 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 and like, bam! And I punch the wall to try to kill the wasp. He's like, zzz, and he totally whiffs, and I'm like, I have it wrapped around my left hand. I'm right-handed. This is how scared I am. I'm not even thinking clearly at all. So again, he's like on the wall over there. Zzz, zzz. bam! And I try to punch the wall. He misses. I miss again. And I'm like, and he's like flying all over the place. I'm actually like backing away. You know how they do the thing in the movies where the person falls on the floor and there's a monster coming at them, and they back away like this on all fours? I was doing that in my room, except we have carpet, so I have like this severe rug burn happening at the base of my back. Excuse me, I drooled. So then the wasp lands on the window. Yeah, you know where this story is going, right? He lands on the window. So I'm just... and go, BAM! And I get him, and I scream, got that motherfucker! Right? I'm screaming. I'm like, yeah! And then I hear this of the glass starting to buckle under the pressure of my left hand that I'm pushing as hard as I can against the glass, mind you. And then it breaks, it just shatters, and the glass on the edges just goes, and I'm like, and I try to pull my hand out, and it breaks, and it like, I actually have glass sticking out of the left hand of my, glass sticking out of my left hand. And of course, the wasp just goes, bzzz, and he's free. He's not even dead. He was trying to get out the whole time. So here I am. I'm in this room. I probably lost, but again, I'm Amish at this point, and I'm bleeding, and I'm like, so I try to pull it out, but it's like, it's kind of broken, so it breaks, and there's still like a shard of glass in there, and it's squirting. It's squirting. Can you still see? I'm actually going to adjust the focus on my camera just so you can see this scar. Because a lot of people, that can't have possibly happened. No, you know what? Where is it? Yeah, you see this scar? You see this scar right on the pinky? You see that? Glass was in there. And apparently so is an artery or something. So, it's squirting. And I'm like, So I called my mom, who was at work, and I was like, Mom, I broke a window, and I'm bleeding, and there's blood everywhere. She goes, oh my God, what happened? And I said, I tried to kill a bug. And she just bursts into laughter at me. Just bursts into laughter. He's like, are you serious? Because my mom thinks it's hilarious that I'm scared of bugs. Because I've like had actual diarrhea because there was like a firefly in my room. What's the light? It can't be real. So I'm like bleeding everywhere. My mom comes back. She's like crying. She's laughing so hard. She's like, let's take you to the hospital. Let's take you. Come on, let's go. So we go there, and I go to the doctors, and I'm like, I punched through a window on accident. They're like, my God, what fit of rage were you in? And my mom's like, and I'm like, well, I tried to kill a bug. And the doctor bursts into laughter at me. So I'm getting laughed at, right? I've lost all sense of interestingness, right? I'm not a cool person. Everyone thinks I'm a loser. I have blood. I'm like lightheaded and stuff. Because of course when you're on a long session of video game and you don't eat, you have adrenaline and you have Balls Guarana next to your computer. Balls is an energy drink, by the way. Just in case any of you thought I was saying the other kind of. Don't worry. So, of course, my brother comes home. This is the best part of the story. My brother comes home, walks upstairs, sees my computer knocked over, a broken window with blood all nearby the window, and nobody's home. That was great. That was awesome. Which, of course, means that in the end I had to come home with Mom, and Nick went, dude, the whole room's like, did you see? Did something happen? Are you all right? And, of course, for the third time in a row, Mom goes... Right, let's go back to the game. Let's go back to the game. In the meantime, we see counterattacking Napoleon. Bringing it out. Bringing it out. Bringing it. For any of you who don't know, my brother is Tasteless, the caster for GOM TV. So imagine that guy freaking out because his brother's gone and thinks his brother was beaten to death by some sort of criminal in the suburbs of Kansas. I bet. Fiend moving out. Taking down the Expo. Oh no, another base. Under fire. Now for any of you who hadn't played StarCraft 1, when your money gets high, all you do is build an Ultralisk cavern and hold the U button a little bit. You just hold it down to burn that money. Are we going to see that from Napoleon? Of course not. He's counterattacking. There's 3 Ultralisks. He's in the mood to lose. No. Counterattacking. Being strong. Hero Cannon with a pair of kills. Can he get to double digit? Can he be Commander Cannon? Oh, Napoleon with the 2-2 lings, with the bling blings. ripping faces apart. Napoleon now has started to amass 335. The chitinous plating from the Ultralisks that I used to call chitinous because I did the Hooked on Phonics program and medical things don't make sense. Here we go. Oh, counterattack again. Napoleon moving on out. Moving on out, taking things out. Oh, Ultralisks do splash damage, and probes are quite splashable. But as it turns out, cannons and units in any number at any tier are the counter to Ultralisks. So Ultras are countered by Zealots, Stalkers, Immortals. Sentries they're decent against Ultralisks. Colossi counter Ultralisks, Void Rays. Phoenixes have a little bit of trouble, but of course the Ultralisks can't defend the Overlords. Fantastic. Fiend rebuilding cannons. Fiend building more Stalkers, because that's what you do as Protoss. And Napoleon, just hold that U button, Napoleon. Just hold it down. Hold it down. Turn that frown upside down and run the Ultras around town because you can't attack. You can only counterattack. It looks like Fiend doing the smartest play ever. He's doing a Zorro of scouting on the mini-map, a zigzag of waypoints to ensure that there are no hidden expansions. And now there's 5-3 Ultralisks. Aw, yeah. And holy crap. Let me hit the B button and just illustrate this. 1, 2, 3 Immortals coming out at once, because when you have a lot of money, you just very direct counter, right? He's building Ultralisks? Well, shit, I'm building only Immortals now. And if he starts building Mutalisks, I'll build only Phoenixes, because you know what? My F12 button works great. And look at these Zerg units. Look at the Ultralisk. Weak against... Wait. What in the double? What the shit? Ultralisks are weak against 3 flying units because it can't shoot them. Oh, wait a minute. Let me just point this out. Hey, look at this. Ultralisks are weak against Banshees, Mutalisks, and Void Rays. Is a drone also weak against that? No, you know, the drone is not really weak against anything. You know that? They don't really have a lot of weaknesses. I mean, they're not strong against anything. I was expecting to be like weak against nothing. Strong against minerals. Gas. Alright, hold on. I can't wait. What about a Zergling? What's a Zergling weak against? Did you know? Okay, it's weak against a Hellion, a Baneling, and a Colossus. It's strong against a Stalker. Well, we all know that's not true. What's a Nidus Worm weak against? Wow, I have never seen such a non-flaccid Nidus Worm in my life. Spore Crawler? A Spore Crawler is weak against units that it can't shoot. What is it weak against ground units? Strong against air units. Look at that. It's a Spore Crawler, you guys. Hold on. Let's find out what Spine Crawlers do. Let's find out. Oh, look at that. It's weak against... There's ground units that it's weak against. Uncanny. Unbelievable. Broodlings, what are they weak against? Time. They're weak against any amount of seconds that goes over 20. That's their biggest weakness. I can't believe that. And you know what? As much as I love to rag on this whole thing, as much as I love to rag on the fact that the counter to Spore Crawlers are ground units, as much as I love that, you know Blizzard was in crunch time, redesigning their art models again and again and again, redesigning the single player, redesigning all the menus again, and there was some guy when they were like, can you just put some counters in there. Just anything, something that will help someone who's inexperienced, because all the good players won't look, except for you and me. Shh, we're good players. And he puts those in, he's like, you know what? What is a sport? Fuck it. You know what? Zerglings, Zealots, and Marines are really a great counter to Spore Crawlers. And for that poor man, I feel you. Because I don't know about you, but when I was in school and I had an essay and I couldn't figure out the conclusion to my essay, you know what I did? I copied my introduction and then I wrote in conclusion, comma, and pasted in my introduction. That's the way that I did it. And I once couldn't figure out the title that I wanted for my paper, so I wrote check it out. That was the title, because you know what? Screw it! I'm done, alright? And to you, my friend, I feel you. And that's hilarious. That is excellent. Alright, anyways. Interesting. Let's see if Fiend will make the counter to Ultralisks and build something that flies. In the meantime, it looks like Napoleon with a well-timed counterattack. Oh, Ultralisk. Trundling, 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 trundling. Losing bases, losing faces. Ultralisk doing a good job. And yet again, we see Napoleon trying to pull back. Ultras, you aren't so good. Ultras, you aren't so good, but Pros, you aren't so even less good, are you? Said Sean, using the power of sentences. Oh, God. Now watch these Ultralisks. They managed to... They did okay. Now, let me just show something. Let me just show something. We're just going to come back here. We're going to slow it down. I have the health of the Stalkers selected. Notice that the blue is full on all of them. These Ultras didn't put up much of a fight because they didn't turn around. Now, let's look at the health. In the unit's lost tab, it's primarily blue, and in the F12 Ultralisk counter sheet, we see that it's strong against Stalkers. You might not be able to see it, but I'm crossing my arms and frowning in my mind. I don't know, man. My girlfriend was giving me a hard time. I could tell she was doing some kind of psychic frowning. So Napoleon, upon this sort of realization, looks like he's just going to return to building only Zerglings. Oh no, he did a direct engagement in the center. This could be a little bit of a problem, but when behind, keep expanding. The Dark Shrine hasn't been used much after that excessive poke early on. Oh yeah, taking it out, big booty, big booty. And meanwhile, it looks like the Ultralisk stepping in. And look at those Ultralisks up against that army. Look at those Ultras hard countering everything they're up against. But in the meantime, who needs counters when we can flex counterattacking? And there the Zergling swinging on, and wow, yo, base is at Fiend. What are your little triage of Immortals doing as you continue to build Immortals multiple at a time? Clearing everything out, clearing it up. Uh-oh, and he runs away, and amazingly, killed off a Stalker. That's infinitely better than the Ultralisk did, because 1 divided by 0 is infinity. If you're a physicist. Oh shit, that joke is high level. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, everyone else is like, but I thought that was called undefined. I learned that in school, and physicists are like, I don't know, it makes the math work. Sometimes infinity cancels out with infinity and you get 5, right? That's the way physics works. I don't know, maybe a cow either weighs 10 kilograms or 100 kilograms. There's nothing in between. Just tell me the order of magnitude of the cow, and I'll tell you whether or not it would escape the orbit of the planet. However, in astrophysics, we still use centimeter, gram, seconds. That seems like the best possible set of instruments to use, right? Not kilograms or kilometers, no, centimeters. Let me measure that planet in grams. Let me measure. How many ounces are you, Sean? Oh, I'm at least a few thousand ounces. There's one physicist out there, he's like, holy shit, that joke is funny. Wow! And that's what I do this show for. Oh my god, Commander Cannon doing his best. Commander Cannon trying to hold down. Looks like Napoleon, oh no, doesn't know about the secret hidden ninja base, but Napoleon, oh, he actually, wait, what? Wait, look at this. You don't see a pylon on the minimap. Look at that. Look at that. I can mouse over it. There it is. Or it's a cannon. You can see it on the minimap, and you can mouse over it, but you don't see anything. Wow. Wow. That's incredible. Alright, cool. Alright, there it goes. There it goes. By the way, I just want to extend a hearty giggle out to all the people in chat typing CGS, which is of course the measurement system. You can go Google it right now, CGS, centimeter, gram, seconds. And there's a couple of people now talking about the Championship Gaming Series, the failed esports direct TV venture. Like, where are we talking about CGS? It died in 2006. And astrophysicists are like, CGS for life. CGS for life. Alright, the Fiend Cannon doing well. And amazingly, Napoleon wrecking it up. Wrecking it up. And in the meantime, this useless piece of garbage hasn't been utilized in as long as I can remember. Napoleon with a base. Fiend with barely a face. Fiend moving out. Fiend moving forward. Fiend moving forward. Oh no, the Zerglings using direct defense managed to successfully kill off a non-zero number of stalkers. Take that, Ultralisk. And now the base is under risk. Quickly, move the overlords. Run! Run the overlords! Run away! Oh no! This is like all the families trying to run away from the zombies at the start of the zombie movie. And if any of you are interested in a pretty decent zombie flick, I recommend looking up Dead Set on YouTube. Dead Set. Not a bad thing at all. It's actually pretty scary. I jumped. But then again, I jump with bugs. After two-shotting freaking buildings, because Fiend has 9 immortals, oh! Napoleon still dedicating his life to the art of counterattacking. Does manage to take down that last remaining little enterprise by Fiend. And a burrow. And a burrow. And a burrow. Napoleon does manage to get another base up. He's still counterattacking. Laying down the smacking. Very counterattacking. Something, something, release the Kraken, whatever, it rhymes. And it looks like the pool, the pool, the pool, the pool, the pool. Oh, God. And it looks like Napoleon never once built any sort of air units. The 28 kill cannon, holy crap, manages to finally freaking die. And now the base is actually in a lot of trouble. In a lot of trouble. We got a spine crawler, maybe something coming up. Looks like Napoleon knows the position he's in. He knows the position he's in. He's moving out. He's moving out. He's going to try to pull back. It looks like the Ultras. Look at them. Look at them. They're right-clicked. They're moving sideways like enraged crabs. The animal. The crustacean. The animal. That sort of enraged crabs. Now moving forward. He doesn't have a spawning pool up. He's burrowing. He's burrowing. He's burrowing. He has these up. Build it. Build it. Build it. Build a hatchery. Build a hatchery. Build a hatch. Go. Build a hatchery. Build a hatchery. Napoleon lost all his buildings. I mean, if he had just placed his hatcheries like here, and then he just could have killed this off. I mean, his only buildings were... Yeah, those were his only buildings. Wow. Wow. I mean, you guys. Whoa. Thank you, Junior, for keeping that table unflipped, for writing that table. Napoleon, I think I recognize your name from elsewhere. So it looks like we have wrapped up yet another episode of Funday Monday. And I would like to let you know that I had fun, and I hope you did too. I love Monday. It is my favorite day of the week after all the others. So I hope you had a fun time. Thank you for coming by and for watching. Exercise, eat healthy, go run, and play some frickin' StarCraft. Ordinarily, I would tell you what the Funday Monday topic is for next week, but I can't, because I will be out of town starting on Friday doing final preparations for the Red Bull LAN Orlando, where we will be having 12 of the greatest players in the world joining us as we watch them compete to train. Just training sessions coming up. There's a thread about it on Team Liquid. And there, we will be doing team mono battles with all those pros for fun. That is right. We'll be doing team mono battles with the pros. Something that has been in high demand for a long time. You've been watching Grubby's stream or Stefano's stream. They too enjoy the occasional mono battle. So that will be going on from March 16th to 18th. Tune in at day9.tv. Oh, I'll fix that later. I will see you tomorrow for Tuesday, and of course Wednesday, Thursday shows. And you are all beautiful. You're all beautiful. You're all lovely. I think you're sexy. It'll all be streamed. 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 You're sexy. Use the sexy. Let's play a song.